the two of them. As we see, the toss for colors happened right now as Gukesh takes his pick, and he will start with, I believe, the black pieces. We see him sitting down there. So he's going to start with 3 minutes on the clock. For Praggnanandhaa, it will be 2.5 minutes, but they get an extra 2 seconds. David, that's a 30-second bonus for playing black. How do you see that as the odds?
Yeah, usually in Armageddon chess, white gets a bonus but has to win. So yeah, this time there's no draw odds. So a draw, we just go on to the next game. So basically you get the advantage of the white pieces, you get to pick the opening, but you have a 30-second deficit. I see it as balancing out. I think it's very fair, Tanya. And d4 to start this game. Gukesh, does he realize the clocks have started? Giving the 30 seconds back now.
I think he's just remembering everything that he's learned over the last year from his mental coach, Paddy Upton, how to take care and deal with this pressure situation. We've got the London on the board. Will it be the London system that decides the winner of the Tata Steel Masters? Whoever wins, it's a winner takes it all.
Yeah, my hometown, the London system playing a part here. And wow, something that Ding used in the World Championship match against Gukesh. This is actually a total mirror image of what happened there. We're going to see the queens come off most likely. It's total symmetry. But in that game, Tanya, Ding used this opening, got a bit of pressure against Gukesh. Gukesh, though, surely has done his homework. Really interesting mind games at play there from Pragg.
Very interesting with Gukesh employing the Reti very successfully at the World Championship in his first game of the playoffs here. And now it's Pragg with the mind games taking on the London, and the queens are off the board. David, are we headed into, well, a second sudden death, or is it too early to say? Because very often the problem for Gukesh here is the development of that light squared bishop on c8, the lack of development on the left side of the board. How much of a factor is this for white to play for an advantage?
Yeah, it's small. It feels like Pragg has had enough of the fun, the chaos, the wildness of the last few games for him. And he just wants to kind of maneuver his way around. I'm going to say there's enough pieces left. There's enough ammunition remaining on the board here, Tanya, to guarantee both sides a bit of chances. But a draw does look very much like the kind of objectively correct result if they play perfect chess. Then again, it is Blitz, it is sudden death, so that's never going to happen. We're going to see some turns ahead. And okay, retreating his bishop, getting ready to bring his knight forward now. Pragg, he's got some ideas. I like what he's doing.
Yeah, perfect chess in Blitz does not exist. Your Magnus or Hikaru. Well, these two players have been playing some high accuracy chess as well. We see another trade being offered right now. Very often a player who's able to get a bishop pair in these endgames is the one who's fighting for a big advantage. But Gukesh takes care of that. If you trade on black's terms here, that rook on a8 suddenly opens up on the A line, already targeting the A2 pawn. You push that forward. There are ideas of B4 appearing on the board. So I think taking that double pawn will not be a wise decision here for Pragg. Bishop takes b5. But if not, what is the alternative that he finds?
Yeah, there's a few alternatives. You can just block this exchange with your knight. He does actually go for the bishop exchange. Very surprising. I agree with you, Tanya. It looks like black is the one to gain here. If anything, b4 on tap. The knight now can come out. It looks like a great transition there for Gukesh. Also, the time situation, it leveled out, but now Gukesh has again, just as he started the game, an extra 30 seconds. What are your predictions? Can Pragg hold the balance here?
How do you predict anything in a Blitz playoff, in a sudden death like this one, where it's only a best of one, David? You know what? I'm ready to see this go into the next 10 sudden death games, if that's what it takes. It's almost going to be heartbreaking to see this one get over. So we've got the rooks lined up against each other. I think draw is the most likely outcome, simply seeing how the pieces are about to get traded off. So I do see the B pawn still doubled up, haven't really been neutralized with the move b4. Does that give Pragg something to fight for? Jump at the center of the board with the knight.
Yeah, maybe it's time to jump in one of these knights at some point, but the black knight's jumping as well, potentially. The black knights have access to some really nice squares. It feels like this is the first real tension in this game. Gukesh with some questions to answer. I'm not even sure who I'd pick right now, to be honest. Probably the side with more time on the clock, Tanya. I think that's the only way we can separate them right now.
Gukesh with a few extra seconds. I think they are going to count because some critical decisions do lie ahead as he jumps in with his knight attacking that B pawn. Pragg has to take a decision. How does he want to defend it? If he pushes that B pawn, the A pawn falls. How do you defend this? Rook B1 is not a happy move.
Oh, it's not a happy move. You might need to exchange a set of rooks. That's what Pragg does. And only then go passive with white's rook. But momentum definitely lost there for Pragg. And oh, the black rook sneaking in and behind. It's going pawn hunting here. Could this be the next turn in this incredible tale of two fighters?
It very well could be, because this is when the pressure starts building up, and it's Pragg who's under that 1 minute mark. He has to find play against those queenside pawns that Gukesh has. Try to target them, and it's not easy to really spot how you do that. David, the more I look at this position, Gukesh is about to win a pawn in this endgame. The a3 pawn is weak as well. It's about to fall.
It's about to fall. It's still level material, but no way to defend this one. White's bishop and knight actually on the other side of the board, just bystanders, not participating. He needs to find some counterplay here, some compensation, Pragg. Yeah, I wish we had heart rate monitors as well, because nerves are jangling. It's the white king that's making a dart over to try and save the day, to try and pick off this past black b-pawn.
Oh, and let's remind everyone, it's winner takes all. This is a best of one. This is a sudden death. If Gukesh wins this, he's up an extra pawn. He takes the championship. And David, he's slowly and steadily making progress. The Black King will join the party at some moment and assist the B pawn moving forward. Pragg relying now on Gukesh to make some error to find his fighting chance here.
Oh, that is a huge decision. And wow, only winning move apparently. Bishop back to d6, trading off the bishops. That would have given a huge advantage to Gukesh. He didn't find it.
Going into a knight pawn ending, famously known to be similar to a king pawn endgame, but with white's king activity, it's understandable that Gukesh didn't go for that direction. It would have given him a big winning chance. And now, if he does the same, David, does he have that opportunity? Because the bishop on b8 is still trapped.
Yeah, he should exchange bishops. The difference now is that the Black Knight would have been jumping in and winning some of White's kingside pawns. That would have been inevitable if he had traded bishops last move. He should still trade bishops here, Gukesh, before the White Knight jumps in. Now it might be too late. The White Knight will go pawn hunting in the near future. It looks like Pragg is back in it. 20 seconds, though. The clock's still going to play a huge role.
It's the main piece in this position right now. The clock is as Pragg's king marches forward, but the king side has been left vacant. It's completely deserted as the white king and knight are on the other side of the board. Is it time for Gukesh to jump in with his knight and start targeting the king side pawn? Get that knight on e4. He's calculating what happens. The f pawn kicks that knight out. How does he keep the pressure? David, the material's about to be neutralized. It's a balanced endgame.
It's a balanced endgame. The only question is whether Gukesh can do anything before the White King gets back into the game. The White King is so far away, but it looks like Pragg has everything covered. A draw very, very likely now. We might get another game, barring a miracle. White's Knight coming back to save the day, and everything balancing out, Tanya. After a bit of drama, missed opportunity for Gukesh.
Yeah, notice the rush with which Pragg brings the forces back towards the king side. King c6, king c5, the knight from a5, getting into the defense from that c4 square. And it's a 4 versus 4 on one side of the board. We're headed towards a second sudden death game. Gukesh needs to be a little careful with that knight. You know, it's too far into Pragg's territory. Just make sure there's a way home. And it comes back.
Ooh, just in time. You were right, Tanya. If the White King had got 1 or 2 more moves, the Black Knight would have been trapped. But now it has an escape route out of the position. Pragg about to give a check, force the Black King back where it came from, offering a repetition now. Pragg basically offering a draw. Gukesh says no, he goes the other way with his king. Will this game continue?
Gukesh and repetition is just not a story that we get to see. The game does continue, David. And now will we see a draw being played out?
He found the only move there, by the way, Pragg, to save the pawns. He needed to defend with his knight passively to protect his kingside pawns. All these knight forks, all these knight jumps. Suddenly, Gukesh is being outplayed. Tanya, he's only got 1 move not to lose a pawn. He doesn't find it.
Knight g4 check was a big idea. Whoa, Praggnanandhaa, he's winning now, David. He's just won a pawn. And the white king. Oh my goodness.
Gukesh has given up his knight. White Pragg here has an extra knight. Can he hold off the advance of the Black King? Gukesh needs to get those white pawns.
Pragg needs to make sure that one of these 2 pawns are alive as the king marches towards black spawns. David, this is completely lost. Pragg has got 4 seconds to figure his way out. It all relies on the clock. And he's playing confidently. These could be the final few moments of the championship. Gukesh desperately trying to push the pawns to try to create an imbalance, but now none is to be created. The G4 square in control, and Gukesh is giving up.
Wow, and Gukesh's time runs out. He offers his hand. Pragg is the winner of the Tata Steel Masters 2025. What a turn, what a twist of fortune. After it looked like he was down and out, he was heartbroken in the classical portion in round 13. And heartbreak for Gukesh again in the playoff. Again, he's the runner-up. So close, but not close